नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी, वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले, श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनीति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे, निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you, Prabhu. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayet. So in the first 5 verses of this chapter is very, very special. The chapter is entitled Divinity and Divine Service. And once we were going to Dwarka in Gujarat. Guru Maharaj has his yatra. So I was with one devotee, Madan Sarup Prabhu. And our routing was to go from here, from Delhi, we went to Goa by air. And from Goa, we had to go to Dwarka by a local type of a train. So we reached in the evening in Goa, and next day was our train. We had, almost 12 to 16 hours. And that day, by inspiration, we decided that we will study the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and I selected this chapter. An entire day, being in Goa, there is so much of temptation to go and see the Goan life, but we never stepped out of the room. We only went to the temple, which was near, not a temple, a center. And there also, they asked me to give class. And entire day, we studied this second chapter, Divinity and Divine Services. Very, very nectarine verses. And these are the answers. We will receive some of the answers to the questions of the sages. Most of the verses are so nectarine that it is worth memorizing. So we see the first five verses we have so far covered. So how much appreciation is there in the heart of Suta Goswami? And before speaking, how much grateful he is towards his teacher, Srila Shukadeva Goswami. So he is glorifying Shukadeva Goswami. He is offering his obeisances. He is glorifying Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. He is glorifying Vyasadeva. And also he is having appreciation for the sages. Muniyo sadhu prishtoham bhavadvir lokamangalam yatkrita krishna samprashna jenatma suprasidati. So in a way, there is the hidden answer in this glorification of the sages, or the appreciation of the sages, that they have assembled for Lokadbhir Mangalam, for the welfare, Bhavadbhir Lokamangalam, for the general mass to be able to be delivered from the essence of material existence. How many of you try to memorize the verse 3, 4, 5? Anyone? Very good. Devadatta. Recite. This chapter we will spend a lot of time in trying to churn some rasa from the verses, although not qualified, but to what extent we have studied the purports of Srila Prabhupada and heard from senior devotees, we will share. Yes, Devadatta, बोलिए.
यस्वानुभावम् अखिलस्मृतिसारमेकम् अध्यात्मदीपम् अदितीर्षतां तमोऽन्धम् संसारिणां करुण्यया पुराणगुह्यम् तमो व्यासासूनं पर्यम्
उपयामि. उपयामि.
उपयां गुरुं मुनीनां. Next one, Prabhuji.
Yes. See, 1 minute.
Narayana.
See, this is atitir tirshitam. There are 3 T's. Atitir tirshitam. Atitir tirshitam andhakupam. Okay.
Yes.
Recite once again.
यस्वानुभावम् अखिलस्मृतिसारमेकम् अध्यात्मदीपम् अदितीर्षतां तमोऽन्धम् संसारिणां करुण्यया पुराणगुह्यम् तं व्यासं सूनम् उपयामि गुरुं मुनीनाम्.
Wonderful. Very good. Your voice has still not fully come back. You are still struggling.
Little bit it has come back, Prabhuji, partly.
To recite these verses and relish. Just recite, keep reciting them. Whenever you are not doing anything, just recite these verses. And keep drinking hot water. Are you drinking hot water?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Next verse.
नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्.
Yeah. And
मुनयः
yeah, go ahead.
मुनयः साधु पृष्टोऽहं मुनयः साधु पृष्टोऽहं
भवद्भिः लोकमङ्गलम्.
भवद्भिर्लोकमङ्गलम् यत्कृत्या कृष्णसम्प्रश्नो येनात्मा सुप्रसीदति.
Very good. Very good. Wonderful. You see what Prabhupada was speaking in the purport? Prabhupada said, we can derive the highest satisfaction only by reading and hearing this transcendental literature. One should learn this Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. You see the purport? What Prabhupada is saying? One should learn the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So we are not doing anything whimsically or out of context to what Srila Prabhupada is instructing us. So Prabhupada is saying, if you see the final lines of the purport in the 5th verse, Prabhupada is saying one should learn the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and make an all-round solution to all problems pertaining to social, political, or religious matters. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and Krishna are the sum total of all things. Very good. Who else? Quickly, we have to move forward also. Very good, Pranav. Go ahead.
यस्वानुभावम् अखिलश्रुतिसारमेकम् अध्यात्मदीपम् अतितीर्षितं तमोऽन्धम् संसारिणं कारुण्यः गुह्यपुराणगुह्यं तं व्याससूनुं
Sansarinam Karunya Purana Guhyam. This is the Puran. Puran means the scriptures or the literature, and it is the most confidential amongst all the Vedic scriptures or Puranas. Okay, go ahead.
तं व्याससूनुम् उपयामि गुरुं मुनीनाम् नारायणं नमस्कृतं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासां ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. मुनय साधु पृष्ठहं भवद्भिर्लोकमङ्गलं यत्कृता कृष्ण संप्रश्नो येनात्मसु प्रसीदति.
Yenatma suprasidati. You will feel the satisfaction of the heart just by again and again repeating these verses. Very good. Yes, Priyanka. Boliye.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
यस्यानुभावम् अखिलश्रुतिसारमेकम् आध्यात्मदीपम् अतितीर्षताम् तमोऽन्धम् संसारिणां कारुण्यपुराणगुह्यं तं व्याससूनुम् उपयामि गुरुं मुनीनां नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वती व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत् मुनयः साधु पृष्टोऽहं भवद्भिर्लोकमङ्गलं यत्कृत कृष्ण संप्रश्नो येनात्मासु प्रसीदति.
This is really pleasing to the soul. Yenatma suprasidati. Thank you for your wonderful recitation. Hare Krishna. Who is next? Ravindra Prabhu, you want to recite?
Prabhuji, I remember 3 and 4 only.
And your daughter? She will complete the 5th one. No. I will not give you chance. You have to complete. Okay, we will hear from Sonika. Just Sonika, go ahead. अभी याद कर लो, उसमें क्या है? 2-3 बार. We have to just put little bit of attention, and there has to be an inclination. It will come automatically. See, I have not memorized the verses by cramping. I have memorized the verses by hearing. Just hear attentively. Try to. Yes, Sonika. You raised your hand?
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Yeshvanubhavam akhil shruti saramekam adhyatmadipam atitirtishrutam tamoandham sansarinam karunya purana guhyam tam vyasasunam upayami gurun muninam नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत् मुनि साधु पृष्ठो मुनियो
Addressing
साधु
all. How many munis are there?
80,000.
88,000. And you know what is muni? Matirna bhinna. So this is very revolutionary that 88,000 sages and they have only one mata and they have common question. It is almost impossible. But that is the glory. That is why he is appreciating that Munio Sadhu Prishtoha. Yeah, go ahead.
मुनियो साधु पृष्ठोऽहं भवद्भिर्लोकमङ्गलम् यत्कृत कृष्ण संप्रश्नो येनात्मासु प्रसीदति.
Very good. Wonderful. How is your health? Your voice is, making me feel that your health is not okay. What happened to you?
Prabhuji, cold.
Beware of cold. Okay. Who else? Ramya?
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी.
Hare
प्रभु जी, 3rd और 4th हुआ है, 5th अच्छे से नहीं हुआ.
करो अभी हो जाएगा. 2-3 बार सुन लिया, हो जाना चाहिए. ट्राई करो.
हरे कृष्ण. यस्वानुभावम् अखिल श्रुति सारमेकम् यस्वानुभावम् अखिल श्रुति सारमेकम् आध्यात्मदीपम् अतितीर्षतां तमोऽन्धम् संसारिणां कारुणया पुराणगुह्यं तं व्याससूनुं मुनयः गुरुं मुनयः तं व्याससूनुम् उपयामि गुरुं मुनयः.
One more time. दोबारा बोले.
नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जया उदीरते.
मुनिया.
मुनयो साधु संप्रष्टं
नहीं, मुनिया साधु पृष्ठो.
मुनय साधु पृष्ठों भवद्भि. प्रभु जी कल में
कोई बात नहीं, अभी हो जाएगा. मुनिया साधु पृष्ठोहम भवद्भिर्लोकमंगलम। आगे बोलो।
मुनया साधु पृष्ठोऽहं भवद्भिर्लोकमङ्गलं यत्कृष्णा
यत्कृता
कृष्णसम्प्रश्नो
येन
यत्ता
आत्मा।
आत्मा सुप्रसिद्धता।
यस प्रदीप प्रो।
यस्वभानुभावम् अखिलश्रुतिसारमेकम् आध्यात्मदीपम् अतितीर्षकं तमोऽन्धम्
संसारिणम।
संसारिणां कारुण्यपूर्णो गुह्यं तं
पुराण
व्याससु
पूर्णो नहीं, इट इज पुराण गुह्यम। संसारिणम कारुण्य। Why he is reciting? This is Puran Guhyam. Okay.
संसारिणां कारुण्य पुराण गुह्यं तं व्याससूनम् उपयामि गुरुं मुनिनाम् नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्। मुनिया साधु पृष्ठोऽहं भवद्भिर्लोकमङ्गलं यत्कृत कृष्ण संप्रश्नो येनात्मा सुप्रसीदति।
You are very good. Telugu is very near to Sanskrit, isn't it?
Yes, Prabhu.
You have that advantage. South Indian languages, particularly Telugu, is very close to Sanskrit. All the languages have been derived basically from Sanskrit, from the Devanagari only. Okay. Who is the next fortunate soul? I see doubtful faces now. Huh? Please try and put effort. It will come automatically after hearing from so many devotees. It will come automatically. So we see, after offering obeisances and his deep appreciation and respect and regard for his audience, now Srila Suta Goswami will begin to answer. We'll take the verse number 6. Anyone remembers what are the questions? He will answer in the next two verses. He will answer the first two questions. What was the first question? Devashish, पहला प्रश्न क्या था?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्णा। हिंदी में दिक्कत नहीं। बोलो यार, जल्दी बोलो। आपने म्यूट कर लिया, अनम्यूट करके फिर म्यूट कर लिया। बोलिए, प्रश्न तो बताना पड़ेगा ना, तभी तो उसका उत्तर समझ में आएगा। अब प्रश्न ही भूल गए तो उत्तर फिर क्या समझ में आएगा?
अल्टीमेट एब्सोल्यूट लोग के लिए क्या है?
हाँ, व्हाट इज द अल्टीमेट and the absolute good
for everyone.
For everyone. Very good. और दूसरा प्रश्न कौन बताएगा? Yes, Ganesh bro.
Essence of all Vedic literature, Prabhuji, Saram.
Very good. Yeah, very good. Saram. So now Srila Suta Goswami will present this Saram. What is the first he will present? What is the ultimate and the absolute good for all people at all times? Very, very popular verse. This is again a verse to memorize. You should be knowing. Everyone knows this verse. Save pumsa paro dharmo yato bhaktir adhokshaje ahetuki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. So what is the absolute and the ultimate good? for all people at all times. It is Sa Vai Pumsaha. Pumsa means for the human race, for the mankind. What is the ultimate good? It is Parodharma. Parodharma means the transcendental, it is beyond matter. So, the highest occupation or the topmost occupation. What is that topmost occupation? For the human race, for the human mankind, which is absolute, and the ultimate good for all is Yator Bhakti, is to perform devotional service. And to whom? Not to any demigod or anyone else. Adhokshaje. Unto the Supreme Lord, who is beyond the three modes. Adhokshaje. Akshaja, you understand? What is Aksha? Aksha means the eyes. Yeah. And Adhokshaja means which is beyond the realm of one's material vision. So it is Adhokshaje, who is completely transcendental. So you see, Prabhupada gives very, very deep word meanings also. So Prabhupada is not writing to the Supreme Lord. He is saying Adhokshaje, unto the transcendence. So it struck me from seeing the word meaning. So to whom the devotional service has to be performed? It is only to the Adhokshaje. What is the verse from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu? Which says that how you can begin. That is very beautiful verse Srila Rupa Goswami quotes in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Atha Shri Krishna Namadi Na Bhavet Grayam Indri. It is not possible for you. The eyes are what? It is one of the senses. Through the eyes we see. But what can we see from the eyes? Only matter and material objects. But this is transcendental, which is beyond Akshaj. It is Adhokshaje. So how do we be able to see the Supreme? That is beyond Akshaja. Atha Shri Krishna Namadi Na Bhavet Grayam Indri. So how to begin? Sevan Mukhi Hi Jivado. Sevan Mukhi Hi Jivado. Swayameva Spurati Yada. Very, very famous verse. Very important principle which Srila Rupa Goswami is establishing. Here also, the same principle. So how to begin is Savay Pumsa Parodharmo Yado Bhaktir Adhokshaje. So the ultimate and the absolute good is to perform. This is the highest moral religious principle. What is to perform devotional service? There is no religious principle which is beyond performing devotional service to the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. This is the Parodharma. And how it is to be performed? First recommendation is it has to be ahetuki. Because everyone in this material world, he performs any action or any activity or any intent or inclination even is with a motive, with some desire, or what it is called quid pro quo. You know the phrase quid pro quo, that what I will receive in return. Without that, there is neither the intent, nor the inclination, nor the action. So how it begins to perform devotional service? It has to be ahetuki. That means there should not be any material motives. It should not be that because I will get some reward or recognition or reciprocation, so I will perform devotional service. No. What is recommended here? How the devotional service is all good, it has to be ahetuki. Without any material or selfish motive. it has to be causeless, ahetuki, no cause. Cause means hetu. So it has to be causeless. And apratihata. Hata means to stop or to kill. Apratihata means that cannot be stopped or that cannot be killed. That means it is uninterrupted. Incessant. Prabhupada uses the word incessant. If you read Srila Prabhupada's purport, Prabhupada uses the word incessant. Let us see what Srila Prabhupada gives the word meaning here for ahetuki and apratihata. Ahetuki is causeless and apratihata is unbroken. So we see in this material world, there is always a break. People begin to do some activity. For few days they will continue. And finally what will happen? It will be discontinued. That is not what one has to perform devotional service. It has to be apratihata. Causeless and ceaseless. One devotee was explaining very nicely. It has to be both causeless and it has to be ceaseless. It cannot cease. It has to continue. How it has to continue? Like the flow of the Ganges, which goes towards the sea. Tvai me ananna vishaya matir madhupate sikre rati utvati yadha ganga voga advata. Kunti Maharani prays. When we will come to the 8th chapter, her prayers will come. So she is praying that let the mind and my heart flow towards you incessantly, like the flow of Ganges towards the sea. It cannot be stopped. Unless and until the Ganges meets into the ocean. So it has to be both ahetuki, without any selfish motive, and it has to be ceaseless. And what is the result of performing such parodharma or the highest occupation? Is yayatma suprasidati. It is most satisfying to the heart and to the soul. The supreme occupation, dharma. So this is very important. So this is the occupation. What is the highest occupation? Is to perform devotional service. The supreme occupation, dharma for all humanity, is that by which man can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy this service. Very beautiful. Who knows this verse? This verse is very popular verse of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Yes, Ramya? Bole? You raised your hand? No? Okay, you just, motioned your hand. I thought you know. This verse you should be knowing. Those who have been, hearing Bhagavatam. This is the first answer. Save pumsa paro dharmo yato bhaktir adhokshaje ahetuki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. Yes, Pranab Prabhu.
Savai pungsha paro dharmo yato bhaktir adhokshate ahoitaki apratihata eyatma suprasidati.
Every verse is the verse that Srila Prabhupada is saying to learn and memorize. Okay, let us see the purport. In this statement, Sri Suta Goswami answers the first questions of the sages of Naimisharanya. The sages asked him to summarize the whole range of revealed scriptures and present the most essential part so that fallen people or the people in general might easily take it up. The Vedas prescribe two different types of occupation for the human being. One is called the Pravritti Marga, or the path of sense enjoyment, and the other is called the Nivritti Marga, or the path of renunciation. The path of enjoyment is inferior, and the path of sacrifice or the path of renunciation is supreme. For the supreme cause is superior. This is important. There are two paths. There is always two paths. There are always two classes of men. One is divine and the other is demoniac. So who will take the pravritti marg? Those who are demoniac. Demoniac means they are more inclined towards sense gratification, sense enjoyment, unrestricted. Whereas the divine, they are going to accept the nivritti marg, which is the path of renunciation. 2 days back, we celebrated the disappearance of Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. Namo Gaur Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murte. So he, by his own example, he sets the standard of the path of nivritti. So pravritti and nivritti. So those who are on the path of perfection, they are on the path of nivritti. They want to detach themselves from the attachment of this world. Urdhvamulam adha shakam ashwatham prahurapyam. Remember, this material world, the material existence is compared to the banyan tree which is upside down. And what one has to do? Drinena chitva. Asanga shastrena drinena chitva. One has to, with determination, cut this attachment, this knot of attachment from this material existence. So Prabhupada is talking about pravritti marg and nivritti marg. So this is there in the Vedas. Both are there. That is why 96% of the Vedas are karma kand. Because karma kand is pravritti. It is not nivritti. The material existence of the living being is a diseased condition of actual life. Very strong statement of Srila Prabhupada. He says, the material existence of the living being is the diseased condition of actual life. Actual life is spiritual existence or Brahma Bhut. Prabhupada gives the reference 4:30:20. Existence where life is eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge. Let us see this verse. Always engaging in activities of devotional service, devotees ever feel ever increasingly fresh and new in all their activities. The all-knower, the super soul within the heart of the devotees, make everything increasingly fresh. This is known as the Brahman position by the advocates of the absolute truth. In such a liberated stage, Brahma Bhut, one is never bewildered, nor does one lament or become unnecessarily jubilant. This is due to the Brahma Bhut situation. The Brahma Bhut means when he has crossed the influence of all the three modes, from Jiva Bhut to Brahma Bhut. One second, I have to go back. So what is Brahma Bhut? Existence where life is eternal, blissful and full of knowledge. Material existence, it is Juva Bhuta. Anyone remember the two verses from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Gita? Which is the Jiva Bhuta and which is the Brahma Bhuta stages? Very famous verses. Yes, Dolavani bro, Dayashil.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी पूरा याद नहीं है पर ब्रह्मभूत प्रसन्नात्मा
Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shochati nikakshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labate para. So actually, when one comes to the Brahma Bhuta stage, then he can perform the parodharma of ahatuki and apratihata. Then his devotional service is both causeless and ceaseless. Now what is the Jiva Bhuta stage? Very famous verse from the 15th chapter. So many times we have discussed. I know now you will be able to say, but wait, I want some others also to respond. Very famous verse.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Hare Krishna, boliye.
Magavanso Jivaloki Jiva Bhuta Sanatana.
Yes, very
Manasasthani Indriyani Prakriti Sthani Kashati.
perfect answer. Jiva Bhuta. Why it is Jiva Bhuta? Manasasthani Indriyani. And what is the main function of the mind? It is always dwindling between pleasure and pain. And when one has surpassed that stage, he has become Brahma Bhuta. Na sochati, na kankshati. Material existence is temporary, illusionary, and full of miseries. Very powerful phrase Prabhupada is saying material existence is temporary. Temporary is which verse? It is anityam. Anyone remembers the verse? Anityam asukham lokam. And it is illusionary and full of miseries. There is no happiness at all. There is just the futile attempt to get rid of the miseries, and temporary cessation of misery is falsely called happiness. Prabhupada gives it in a very deeper way. He says, the futile attempt to get rid of miseries and temporary cessation of misery is called happiness. Before one faces the other misery, till the time he faces some extreme misery, he feels that he is in happy condition. Therefore, the path of progressive material enjoyment, which is temporary, miserable, and illusionary, is inferior. But devotional service to the Supreme Lord, which leads one to eternal, blissful, and all-cognizant life. Eternal is Sat, all-cognizant is Chit, and blissful is Anand. Is called the superior quality of occupation. This is sometimes polluted when mixed with the inferior quality. For example, adoption for material gain is certainly an obstruction to the progressive path of renunciation. This is very important. So this is called mixed or devotional service, which is mixed with the material motive. Mishrit Bhakti. What kind of Mishran is there? Karma Mishran. Renunciation or abnegation for ultimate good is certainly a better occupation than enjoyment in the diseased condition of life. Prabhupada is saying enjoyment in the diseased condition of life. So, a person who is diseased, can he actually enjoy? Not possible. Such enjoyment only aggravates the symptoms of disease and increases its duration. A beautiful verse in the 5th chapter. Where Krishna speaks this principle, that it aggravates the disease. Any attempt to enjoy through the senses and through the body, it only aggravates the disease and extends the duration of one's misery. Famous verse from the 5th chapter in Bhagavad Gita. Action in Krishna consciousness. Karma Yoga, action in Krishna consciousness. Pradeep, you don't remember this verse? Dayashil Prabhu will speak. बोलिए.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. संन्यासं तु महाबाहो दुःखम आप्तुम अयोग्यः.
No. ये ही संस्पर्श जा भोगा दुख योने ही एवते. That any attempt to enjoy through the senses, ये ही संस्पर्श जा भोगा. Samsparsha means coming in contact. What is coming in contact? The material objects are coming in contact with the material senses. So as the material object come in contact with the material senses, what one feels? One feels a sense. Very important. One feels a sense of enjoyment or happiness. It is not actually there. It is temporary, it is illusionary, and it is miserable. The Prabhupada is explaining here. Yehi samsparshja bhoga dukh yone hi evate. What is the result of the senses objects coming in contact with the sense? It is dukkha. Only one result will come. Ultimate result will be the suffering or the miseries. Dukh yone hi evate. And such temporary happiness have a beginning, adi, and they also have an end. Adi anta tu kaunteya na teshu ramate buddha. But those who are wise, those who are learned, they never engage in such temporary and illusionary sense enjoyment. So that Prabhupada is quoting here. That such enjoyment only aggravates the symptoms of disease and increases its duration. Therefore, devotional service to the Lord must be pure in quality without the least desire for material enjoyment. One should therefore accept the superior quality of occupation in the form of devotional service of the Lord without any tinge of unnecessary desire, fruitive action, and philosophical speculation. This alone can lead one to perpetual solace in his service. So if one is accepting this principle, even if he is in this material world, even if he is in this material body, even if he is in the influence of the three mode, but he will experience this transcendental happiness. Krishna, when he will come to the 9th chapter, he will explain. Rajavidya Rajaguyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyaksh Avagamamam Dharmyam Susukham Kartum Avyayam. From the very beginning of performing of devotional service, with this principle of ahetuki and apratiyata, one will experience the spiritual bliss. Susukham Kartum Avyayam. And that Sukham is Avyayam. It is inexhaustible. It is without cessation. The service is without cessation, and the happiness, that Sukham, is also without cessation. Very simple formula. To the extent one is dedicated to serve, to that extent the Sukham he will receive. This is called Kripa, Karanpa. So Prabhupada is guarding us that without any tinge of unnecessary desire, fruitive action, and philosophical speculation. The two things both have to be given up. What is the fruitive action? That there is a desire to enjoy the result of performing some service. And the second is without philosophical speculation. So we should not speculate. So how devotional service is to be performed? It has to be performed under guidance. It has to be performed under an authority. Then there is no question of speculation. This alone can lead one to perpetual solace in this service. We have purposefully denoted dharma as occupation because the root meaning of the word dharma is that which sustains one's existence. A living being's sustenance of existence is to coordinate his activities with his eternal relation. Please don't do anything on the screen. Who is using all this marking? Please refrain from all this. Please don't. Ganesh Prabhu, who is trying to do this? Okay. A living being's sustenance of existence is to coordinate his activities with his eternal relationship with the Supreme Lord Krishna. Krishna is the central pivot of living beings, and he is the all-attractive living entity or eternal form amongst all other living beings or eternal form. Each and every living being has his eternal form in the spiritual existence. And Krishna is the eternal attraction for all of them. Krishna is the complete whole, and everything else is his part and parcel. The relation is one of the servant and the served. It is transcendental and is completely distant from our experience in material existence. This relation of servant and the served is the most congenial form of intimacy. One can realize it as devotional service progresses. Prabhupada is saying that right now, don't scratch your head. It will not be very much tangible. So how it can become tangible? As one progresses in his devotional service. Everyone should engage himself in that transcendental loving service of the Lord. Even in the present conditioned state of material existence. That will gradually give one on the clue to actual life and please him to complete satisfaction. Okay, so this is the answer to the first question raised. Yes, what is the ultimate and the absolute good for the entire human population who is going to witness in this age of Kali? The Paradharma, the highest occupation, is Bhakti Radhokshaje. And how the bhakti is to be performed? Two qualifications. It has to be Ahatuki and Apratihata. Hare Krishna. So I'll stop here. I think this verse is already memorized. Just one or two times read it. It will fit into your heart. Yes, Madan Surupro.
Hare Krishna, Babuji.
Hare Krishna.
The first paragraph around from the bottom 6th, 7th line, renunciation or abnegation for ultimate good is certainly a better occupation. Yes,
That is this is Nivritti Marg, na? Renunciation is Nivritti Marg. And abnegation of what? Abnegation of the sense enjoying tendency.
It says abnegation for ultimate good.
Prabhupada is explaining Pravritti Marg and Nivritti Marg. See, it is a continuation of that.
Yeah.
So why one is renunciation? So Nivritti Marg means what? To detach and to renounce. What is the purpose? Like the Mayavadis, they also detach and they renounce, but they don't have that purpose. It is not for the ultimate good.
Yeah.
Not have Krishna. That is why Prabhupada is explaining so painstakingly. If you see in the final para also, the Prabhupada is saying that Krishna is the pivot.
Yes.
If the Krishna is not in the pivot, then that Nivritti is useless. What it will lead to? It will lead to philosophical speculation. That is what the Jnani's marg is. So that is why Prabhupada is warning and cautioning both. One has to be free from unnecessary desires, fruitive actions, and philosophical speculation. So how that is possible? When Krishna is in the center.
I thought abnegation is, denying for ultimate.
Yeah, denying what? Denying the opportunity for sense enjoyment. That is the Nivritti marg.
Oh. I read it wrong then. Abnegation for ultimate good. I thought,
Why we are renouncing? Why we are renouncing the worldly so-called attractions for ultimate good.
Ultimate good. Okay.
Yeah, there is a verse, very beautiful verse, which comes in Rishabde's Tapo Divyam Yena Putraka. Yeah. Yeah. So he's saying that you renounce all this and performs great austerity and penance. Why? Tapo Divyam Yena Putraka Sattvam Shuddhed Sukham Anantam. Can you find out that verse? Manoram Prabhu, it is, I think, 552. Very famous verse. He says the stool eaters, they also get the opportunity for sense enjoyment, for uniting the senses with the sense objects. But if you have come in this human form of life, what you have to do, you have to renounce. How? By performing austerity. Then you can achieve that ceaseless happiness, sukham etantikam. No, okay, go next. Next. It is just next. Third. Okay, come to the first. Maybe I'm not able to recall. Come to the first verse. 551. It's somewhere here only. Yeah, this is the verse. Rishabhuvacha. Nayam deho devajam narloke kashtan kaman arhate badbhujam ye tapo divyam putrakayen sattvam shuddhe yasmad brahma saukhyam tu anantam. Manasur Prabhu, read the translation.
Can you enlarge it?
Okay.
Lord Rishabdev told his sons, "My dear boys, of all the living entities who have accepted material bodies in this world, one who has awarded this human form should not work hard day and night simply for sense gratification, which is available even for the dogs and hogs that eat stew. One should engage in the penance and austerity to attain the divine position of devotional service. By such activities, one's heart is purified, and when one attains this position, he attains eternal blissful life, which is transcendental to material happiness and which continues forever."
Yeah. It is Saukhyam tu Anantam. So this, the point is for the ultimate good. This is what the question was. What is the ultimate good? What is the absolute and the ultimate good
For all.
for the people coming in this age of Kali? And that is Bhaktir Adhokshaje. Okay? Anyone else? Very, very important. The crux of the very essence, the cream of Bhagavatam is being discussed. Okay, if there is not, so then I will stop. It is getting late. But please put your effort, put your interest. Very nectarine verse, very precise, to the point, very purposeful and very meaningful discussions. And when now Sudha Goswami has begun to answer, so please put effort, please find time, please find some 15-20 minutes or maybe half an hour every day, apportion it for studying this Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So tomorrow we will hear 4 verses. 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. The more you delay, I'll keep adding because every verse is a verse to memorize. Next verse is also a verse to memorize. There is nothing you remember, Madan Sarup Prabhu? I was just mentioning before you came. I had only gone once to Goa with you and we did not step out. We were just studying this chapter, Divinity and Divine Service. Each verse is full of so much of nectar. You remember?
Yes, sir.
We completed this chapter that day. And then we went to be a part of Guru Maharaj Yatra in Dwarka.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. I also want to express my appreciation. Muniyo sadhu prishtoham. That you are all coming every day live to hear Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and giving me an opportunity to read and hear Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Thank you very much.
Very kind of you.
All glories to you. Hare Krishna.